Something fundamentally changed in the way that I run, and I want to tell you about it so it can make your runs better and your workouts better and your day better. So if you'll bear with me for a minute, let's discuss. So I'm on my run right now, running up this mountain that's behind my house, and I've run up this mountain to the top many a times when I was in better shape, better training, right? And right now I can only run maybe about halfway up it. And actually what happened to me before was that I got into a place where I could run up this mountain, and then my training fell off for a little bit, or I was taking a break after attempting an ultra marathon. And when I got back to running after taking a couple of weeks of easier running, I tried to run up this mountain and I failed, and I could feel that I was not having the endurance that I had before, and I felt like a complete failure, and I basically gave up. Like halfway through, I was like, oh, I'm just not feeling anymore. Then I went for a run the next day and I couldn't run as far, I couldn't run as fast, and I was like, oh, I lost all this, all this work I put in, I lost it. Okay, and I was just whining like a little baby, to be honest with you. And I really just felt unmotivated to run. Okay, and that persisted for some time, and many times in my life this has happened, and it's persisted up to a point that I actually did regain the endurance finally, and then get back to where I wanted to be, only to lose it again, and never really enjoy the process of getting there, because I'm just trying to get back to where I was, or being there because I can't hold it, and I'll eventually lose it, and we'll be back at square one. So what's different about today? Let me tell you. Okay, so today I ran up about halfway. Yesterday I ran on a trail, again, a different mountain that I used to be able to run all the way to the top. In fact, from my house, 13 miles all the way to the top and back. But there's no way I could even come close to doing that right now, even though I've run 2 full marathons this year. Okay, so first of all, running endurance, it does not stick with you for very long. You lose it very quickly, and it takes a lot of work to get it. So just so you know, if you're going to embark upon this. But the thing about this, and the reason why I feel great right now, even though I didn't run up this whole thing, is because I changed my thinking. Okay, I changed my mindset. Instead of thinking, oh, this is where I used to be, and I need to get back to there. I can't believe I can't even run what I used to run. I'm now thinking, my goal is to just accept where I am right now, which is fine. I don't even have an evaluation of it. Like, is it good or bad? It doesn't matter. It's just what it is. So let me see how far I can run. Okay. And then when I can't run anymore and I can't keep going up, then I'll walk a little bit, and then I'll jog a little bit more. And my goal is only to give myself the proper training to be able to improve and to enjoy the run, right? Enjoy the experience. There's no outcome related to this. I don't care if I can run up this mountain right now. I know from trusting the process that if I continue to do that, if I continue to push myself to the edge of my limits, or where things are a little bit beyond uncomfortable, it doesn't have to be to the edge of my possible endurance where I couldn't walk another step. It doesn't have to be that far, because that will wipe me out too much. But as long as I push a little bit past my comfort zone, where things start to get uncomfortable, then what's going to happen is that I'm going to improve over time, as long as I have the frequency of doing that. And so I'm running 5 days a week now, lifting 2 days a week, and I have a schedule. I have it planned. Remember, I did the video talking about to do the schedule. If you haven't watched that video, go back and watch that video. Okay, I think I called it how I stopped being lazy or something like that, or why I got lazy, and how I stopped. Watch that video, okay, because I thought I could beat the system, which I can't. But my point is that I just said, all right, I'm just gonna do this thing for the sake of doing this thing, and I know that I will improve over time. And so, see, the thing that gives us motivation, and the thing that gives us the most joy in life, honestly, and we could test this with video games, I'll tell you how in a second, is not what we can accomplish. It's the progress, right? And how do I know this? Well, I'll give you a couple examples. One of them is video games, right? Have you ever played WoW, World of Warcraft? I used to play that a lot. Or Lord of the Rings Online was my game. I was the raid leader in Lord of the Rings Online. I had a script for the raid. People would come on my raid, and I'm like, this is how we most efficiently take down the dragon, okay? I don't even remember his name now. But the thing is, what is the point of that? Like, what is the point of playing WoW or Lord of the Rings or any game? What's the point of leveling up? Like, what are you gaining from that? Nothing. You're getting nothing, right? You're not getting money. You're not gaining endurance, looks, anything. Not a girlfriend, definitely not a girlfriend. All right, you're not gaining anything. So why are you doing it? It's digital bits. It's because the progress. Even a completely illusionary progress, even one that's totally make up. That's why people say, or made up, people say, well, I used to be one of these skeptics about, I gamified my life. And I'm like, yeah, you gamified your life. I'm not gonna buy into that stupid thing. There was some app where you could level up and do chores and stuff. And I was like, but you know what? That's just as stupid as a digital game, right? Yeah, no, it's fun to maybe play with other people and like the actual challenge of the game. Sure, okay, that's fun. But ultimately, what's making you motivated is leveling up, right? So the thing is, the other example is this: is there's probably a lot of things that you enjoy doing, right? Are you the best in the world at it? Do you play music? Do you program? Do you draw? Do you run maybe? Do you lift weights? Do you, I don't know, like, whatever else do you do, right? Whatever hobby that you do, are you the literal best in the world at it? Then why do it? Why do it? If it's not, what you enjoy about it is the progress that you're making. You don't have to be the best, right? And so it's really arbitrary wherever you're at, as long as you're advancing, right? So you could have just as much fun being at the top, right? Some people do this in games, right? They'll reach max level and then they'll start over and make a new character, right? And they'll have just as much fun leveling up that new character. But you can have just as much motivation and enjoyment out of completely resetting. Let's say that you're a marathon runner and you ran this marathon and you got your time down really, really low, and then you got sick for 3 months and you lost all endurance. You have to start over from scratch, like you've never run again. You've never run before in your life. You can have just as much fun building up to that as you can already being there, right? It's all arbitrary. It's all just what your mindset is what's influences. And then when I had the bad mindset, when I was like, oh man, I can't run as far as I used to run. I wish I could just be back to where I was. I wish my abs were what they used to be. Look, they're not so good right now. Right? Okay. What happens when I had that bad mindset is that I can't enjoy the progress because I'm just trying to get back to even, just like a gambler making a promise with God, like, just let me get back to even. That's what my goal is. And that's not a happy place to be. You're not gonna have any joy or motivation. And it's really, really hard to get back up or to make advancements when you don't have motivation. You really have to have the motivation, right? I've talked about working without motivation. I think that's an important skill to develop. But in order to really, really succeed, you've got to find a way to self-motivate. I think that's really the thing, right? And, I could give you one more example from my life. There was a time when I was going to be a professional poker player, and I was playing poker 12 hours a day, okay? I would play like 8 tables at once online when online poker first came out, all right? Because I just wanted to quit my job so I could just, if I could just make enough money doing poker. I don't know why, because I guess, why do you get that in your head? It's like, that's just as much work, but it felt more like fun, I guess. So even though it was a grind. Anyway, I got to this point where I wasn't really making much money. In fact, I was losing like $200 a month. So I'd put $200 a month on, every month I'd put new $200 on because I lost my $200. Because I was better than what I was playing, but I just knew I was gonna get $200 next month. I could just put it on. And so I took these big risks because I wanted to get to a large number fast, right? So instead of playing smart and grinding it out, I started playing aggressive and just trying to make stupid bets, okay? At one point, I was like, you know what, John, this can't continue. This is so stupid. You're definitely not going to be a professional poker player if you lose $200 a month. Like, even if you do take a big swing and make it, and let's say you make $5,000, you're just going to lose that, right? And I had done that, actually. I'd won some tournaments, and then that got drained down, right? So finally, I think I had 10 cents left on my account. And I said, no, John, you're not putting $200 on this month. And I was like, what are you talking about, John? I like to talk to myself like that, okay? And he was like, dude, you get 10 cents. That's it. I'm like, what am I gonna do with 10 cents? I play 1 cent, 2 cent poker? Like, I can't even bet optimally with that. I need to have at least $1 to play 1 cent, 2 cent poker. And he's like, no, what you're gonna do is you're gonna play conservatively, and you're just gonna wait until you get pocket aces, or you get something where you can make some money on that, and it's pretty much guaranteed you're gonna play super, super conservatively. All right, and that's all you get. And you know how much fun? I had more fun playing poker than I ever did when I built that 2 cents, that 10 cents up to $10,000 and then cashed it out and haven't played online poker since. Okay? Because it was that journey, it was that process. It was because it was the growth of it. I was a software developer making you know, like $200,000 a year. I had business income that was coming in, real estate income, stuff like that. I guess, you know, somewhere around that. Like, what, even if I was making $1,000 a month positive on poker, or even if I make $10,000, does that really matter? Especially when I was playing 1 cent, 2 cent, right? Does it really matter? Like, oh, I got a big pot of 5 cents. I doubled up my 10 cents to 20 cents. It mattered to me because I played the game in my head of gamifying it. I made that the goal. I reset the high water mark, and that was making progress for me, because progress is what creates motivation. So coming back to this whole thing, I didn't mean this video to be so long, but thanks for bearing with me here. It is a beautiful walk. The iPhone camera is amazing with the cinematographic mode, but here's the thing. So when I run now, I'm not perfect, right? Obviously, I can still screw this up, but I try to make my mindset such that I'm just making progress. I don't care where I was before. As long as I'm continually making progress, and yeah, sometimes you're gonna have some setbacks, but wherever I'm at, I can try to be better than I was yesterday, right? And this whole thing about, it's real tricky with comparing yourself to yourself. In fact, I'll tell you what, we're not even gonna have this video today. Tomorrow, I will make a video about comparing yourself, okay? Whether you should compare yourself to yourself, because there's a big difference. See, I made a mistake comparing myself to my old self, but it's also something you should do. If you want to know how to do it, let's talk about that tomorrow.